Okay, welcome back to Facebook Ads, the key to cheap, effective, targeted traffic. Now, what we're going to talk about is we're going to go through part of the ad network process. And this is what you want to keep in mind as we go through this video. The key to cheap clicks is targeting. The more targeted that you can get with your ad, the better you're going to get in terms of cost per click. That's just the general rule. So what you want to do is you want to get as specific as you can in your ad targeting. And of course, there are some upsides and downsides to doing things this way. The plus to targeting: cheaper clicks, higher ROI, and higher click through rate. So the more targeted you can get the ad, obviously, the more you can get the landing page to match what you know will convert with people. You're going to have a better, you're going to have a better experience for the user, and then Facebook's automation or their algorithm is going to calculate the cost per click at a lower rate. It's a good experience for the for the user. Now, here's the downside to targeting that at that level, which is really micro targeting. It's hard to scale unless you are using some kind of special software. You're going to have to you're going to have to create a lot of campaigns. You're going to have to test a lot of campaigns, and it's going to be difficult for you to scale. So you're going to have to balance this, and you may very well have to consider, once you really get better at determining what campaigns are going to work, you're going to want to start to think about getting some software or getting some assistance or getting some help. So let's talk about how you're going to target. You're going to target interests. Okay, you're going to see that when we go into the screen. Location. Now, in the case of online marketers and people who are looking to make money online, location is not necessarily going to be so much of an issue unless you're looking to sell services to small business owners. That's not necessarily going to really help you much. Gender might help you, although you will probably want to sell to everyone. Though most product buyers on internet marketing products tend to be male. However, you don't want to limit that in Facebook unless you're going to target a specific ad to men and specific ad to women. Age, okay, age. Now, in the beginning, when you start to look at age, and we'll talk about this in one of later videos, you're not necessarily going to want to limit too much where you're targeting age. You want to find out first, and we'll talk about this later. You're going to get a report from Facebook that will tell you who's clicking your ad, and then that's when you'll start to come back to re-optimize your targeting, and you might shut off some of the age groups where people are not clicking your ads. So you may start out broad, and you're going to have to close it in as you start to determine who your ideal prospect is and what they're doing. And of course, we'll be talking about the ads in particular, and then their connections. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to just go into the facility so I can show you where all these things are, what they mean. Now, we are going to be walking back through the process all at once here at the end. So, okay, so now what I've placed in the URL category is the Hangout plugin. And we haven't put a headline in there. Now, we are obviously going to want to rewrite our headline according to some of the rules that we talked about in the previous video, as well as our text. Our image is just what they've done is they've gone to the website to pull an image. We're going to put our own image in there, obviously. And as we go down, one of the things that Facebook will do is it'll let you see what your ad is going to look like. Now, obviously, and this is probably a good time to talk about this in terms of your landing page. You want to make sure that, again, your ad is really I'd say very close to what people are going to see when they get to your landing page. Let's talk about targeting here. Probably one of the most important part of this process is going to be determining the interests of those who you are targeting with the Hangout plugin. Now, if you're not unfamiliar with internet marketing, you probably already you don't know, or you may not have come in contact with Walt Bayless's plugin. I'm not pushing that product any more than I'm pushing any other one. It's just a good example because it's showing up in our newsfeed. We it is because it's a product that's about webinars and Google Hangouts, where we want to target people, right? We want to target people who do webinars, who are worried about webinars, who want to use webinars to sell, and so we want to get their interest. And so we're going to look at Facebook and we're going to talk about web conferencing, right? And so we can look at that plugin. We can look at WebEx. We can look at Citrix Online. We can look at video conferencing, right? Or Adobe Connect. That might be a good one. So these are people who are already using the platform. Right now, if they're going to be marketing, obviously we want internet marketers. Okay, we want affiliate marketers. So what we're going to try to do is we want to get this as close to the the market as we possibly can. And one of the ways that we're going to be able to whittle this down is by doing this with by doing this with the interest. And we want to be precise as we possibly can. Okay, now obviously we want to we want to look at the United States. We could probably, because it's internet marketing, we probably want to look at the United Kingdom. And we might want to look at Australia. Right? We want to find as many, in many relevant countries as we possibly can. I mean, you can put in there however many more relevant countries you think need to go in there. Again, remember the targeting is important. Now, in terms of age, we're going to start the age at least, I believe, 16 or 17. And we're gonna put a max of this. I'm gonna go ahead and put a max here of 60. Didn't really do anything to the targeting. Now we want to make sure that we get broad targets. So in terms of mobile users, okay, we might want to have Apple users. But once again, we want to get these broad categories as specific as we can. We probably don't want small business owners for this. Right? We could probably say that we want people, we don't necessarily want to target technology early adopters. So we're going to go through here and we're going to find people with the kind of interests, okay, that we have. Family status, right? Maybe we want baby boomers. So you want to use this targeting as specific as you can based on your product, right? We talked a little bit about advanced targeting. Okay, so we want to target people, okay, that are connected to any page we have, any app we have, or any event that we've had. And this is going to really help us, right? This is going to really help us narrow this down. Now, obviously, the page that I'm looking at doesn't really have a lot of friends there, but we want to be able to use this because this will really narrow down and make our targeting a lot more specific. When we already know that someone's interested in a particular page, that's going to really give us some real leverage to find the right people. As it is, our targeting, we've really got this narrow down to about 300 people. There aren't a lot. So, it's pretty targeted as it is, but we can get it even more targeted if we use this information on which page, app, or event these people are connected to, and then we leave out the ones that are not connected to the ones that we want. Okay, we could say that we don't want every relationship category. English, we're just going to assume. Okay, we're going to say we want all these people. If we know a specific workplace, now in this particular case, if we don't want these ads to go to someplace specific, we leave it blank. But let's say if you know that there was a layoff at a certain place and you want those people targeted, right? You could narrow that down even more, right? Location wise and location wise as well as workplace wise. Okay, you're going to give your campaign a name, and we'll get to all these things when we run through this at the beginning, but the main point is you want to use all of your targeting criteria as specifically as you possibly can based on what you know about your customer. And that's why it's important for you to know your audience more so than you just know the keywords. The keywords are important, but the audience is very important because that will help you to determine what your target is. Okay, so with that, that's all that we're going to do here on targeting. And in our next video, we're going to be talking about getting the ads approved. So with that, thanks, and I will see you in the next video.